This was it, the final battle. A fight that would decide the fate of the pride and the future itself. The two brothers stood in the center of the clearing, muscles tense, eyes locked. The wind stilled. Even the stars seemed to hold their breath. Musa's paws dug into the earth. Saber's tail flicked once behind him. Then, they lunged. Claws clashed. Bodies collided. The sound of impact echoed across the quiet land like thunder. Saber snarled, slashing viciously at Musa's shoulder.
You should have stayed gone.
Musa ducked low, rolled, and countered with a swipe to Saber's flank.
And let you destroy what's left of our family? Never!
They broke apart, circling again, their chests heaving.
You think you're noble? You're nothing but a weak lion who ran away like a fool.
Musa grunted as their bodies slammed together again.
Maybe I'm weak, but at least I'm not a monster like you.
They clashed once more, claws tearing fur, jaws snapping, growls rolling through the night like a storm. Each blow was more than physical. Saber shoved Musa back, his breath ragged, his eyes burning with hate.
I gave this pride strength. Without me, they'd be nothing.
Musa growled, rising to his feet, blood trailing from a cut on his side.
You gave them nothing but fear, and fear is the only thing keeping them here.
Saber roared, charging again. But this time, Musa was ready. He stepped aside at the last second, using Saber's momentum to slam him to the ground. Saber struggled, snarling, but Musa didn't strike. He stood over his brother, wounded, panting, but with fire still in his eyes.
I don't want to kill you, Saber. This doesn't have to end in death. You can still stop this.
No!
Saber slashed upward, catching Musa's face and breaking free.
You'll have to kill me to stop me, because I will never bow to a traitor.
Musa staggered back, blood on his cheek. Then his gaze hardened. So be it. They clashed again, brothers, lions, kings. Musa's strength was fading. Wounds covered his body, and his breaths grew shorter, weaker. But he didn't back down. Not for a second. Saber, driven by hatred and desperation, pressed harder. His strikes wilder, more brutal. From the distance, Queen Isolde screamed.
Saber, please, stop. I'm begging you.
But he didn't care. All he cared about was winning. Nala stood frozen. Her eyes were wide, filled with terror, with helplessness. King Atlas growled, holding her back, knowing all too well that stepping in would mean death for all of them. Pico, now beside the pride, clutched his tiny arms to his chest, his heart pounding as if it might explode. The ending was clear. Saber was stronger. His anger had taken full control of his mind, of his soul. There was no light left in him, only darkness. Musa staggered, blood trailing from his mouth. He looked up at his brother and whispered,
I forgive you, Saber.
Saber roared, not in triumph, but in rage at those words, at the mercy, at the forgiveness. With a deafening cry, he leapt. His claws plunged deep into Musa's chest. The world stopped. Musa gasped. The air ripped from his lungs. Saber stood over him, chest heaving, his paw still pressed to his brother's now lifeless body. Musa's blue eyes, once so full of hope, slowly dimmed. He managed to lift his gaze one last time to his mother and to Nala. And with a faint whisper, he breathed.
I'm sorry.
Queen Isolde collapsed to the ground, a heart-wrenching scream tearing from her throat. Nala fell beside her, tears streaming down her face as she whispered over and over,
No, Musa, please, wake up.
Pico stood frozen, shaking his head in disbelief as tears rolled down his cheeks. King Atlas, with the lions who had followed Musa, bowed their heads, in sorrow, in honor, in mourning. Saber stood still, his claws dripping with his brother's blood. His expression was unreadable. Not victory, not pride, just silence. He took a step back from Musa's lifeless body, staring down at him, and froze. For a moment, the world around him faded. Queen Isolde, Nala, and Pico rushed to Musa, collapsing beside him in tears. Trembling with desperation, pulled the healing flowers from his pouch, pressing them to Musa's wounds as if they could still save him.
No, no, no. This can't be real.
Nala let out a scream, raw and filled with anguish.
You promised me, Musa. You promised you'd come back.
Her voice shattered in the night, breaking with each word. Queen Isolde wrapped her arms around her son's body, her sobs shaking her chest. Then her grief twisted into rage. She turned to Saber, her eyes burning.
Look what you've done. He was your brother. How could you? How could you do this?
She clung to Musa, pressing her face to his fur, as if trying to wake him from a nightmare. Saber's pride vanished from his eyes. His breathing slowed. Memories surged through him like hurricane, and it took over his mind.
Musa! Musa! Look what I found!
Musa came running, his face lit up with a playful smile.
Wow. What is this, Saber?
I don't know, but look, she can fly.
He reached out gently with his paw and brushed the butterfly perched on a flower, and the butterfly flew.
Wow. Let me try.
The butterfly fluttered to the next flower. Musa crept up slowly, eyes focused, and with a careful touch, he brushed his paw against it. The butterfly lifted into the air, its wings glowing in the light.
Wow!
They both exclaimed, their eyes following it as it danced into the sky.
Bet I can jump higher than you, Musa.
Ha! Not a chance. Watch this.
Not bad, but check this out. See? I've got sky paws.
Ha 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 ha. More like floppy paws.
Okay. Tie.
Fine. Tie for now.
They sit down in the grass, catching their breath.
Hey, Saber. Do you think we'll always be together?
Yeah, always. Just you and me. Like now.
And now he stood alone, with his brother's blood on his claws. A hollow whisper escaped his lips.
What have I done?
His eyes drifted to his sobbing mother, collapsed over Musa's lifeless body. Her wails cut through the night like shattered glass. He turned his head toward his lions, the pride he had led through fear and fire. But now he finally saw their eyes clearly. Not loyalty, not pride, only fear and sorrow. He stepped back, further and further, as if distance could erase what he had done. The pain he had long buried, the emotion he thought he'd killed, came crashing back like a storm. Guilt, grief, regret. The darkness that once gave him strength now suffocated him. He had done this. He had destroyed everything. He had ruined everything. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a powerful wind surged through the land, wild and raging. The stars above began to flicker, not like twinkling lights, but in an unnatural pulsing rhythm. Every creature, from the smallest mouse to the mightiest elephant, paused. Heads turned, eyes widened. Something was happening. something no one could explain. Even Nala, Pico, and Queen Isolde, still drowning in grief, felt it. A sudden shift in the air, a presence, a force that cut through pain and silence alike. Saber's heart pounded. He looked around, unsettled, unsure. This wasn't normal. This wasn't nature. Then, King Atlas looked up and gasped. His voice came first as a whisper.
It's Magnus.
He stepped forward, raising his voice with conviction.
It's Magnus!
All eyes turned skyward. And then, the unimaginable began. Stars fell from the heavens, trailing golden and silver fire as they descended. But they weren't just falling, they were forming. Lion shapes, majestic and glowing, began to take form from the falling stars, lighting up the sky with ancient power and divine wonder.